This is Tala Malik, and today I just really quickly want to talk about uh, just one of my very recent brands, my very recent stores that we have managed to scale to around 14K revenue within the very first week of operation. So just want to break down my thought process behind it, the scale, the numbers, profit loss, and my future plans in order to take this store to a six-figure brand in 2025, hopefully within the first quarter, uh, before in the summer. That's the plan. But yeah, just wanna again just talk a bit more about the numbers, the growth, and some of the issues that we have faced within this journey. Yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. I mean, let me actually refresh this page so everybody knows that this actually is legit, because a lot of people can use Inspect Element in order to change their numbers. But again, just making sure that you guys realize that this actually is real. Um, so I'm going to talk about our growth first, and then after that, I'm going to talk about some of the issues we have faced, and then we're going to talk about the numbers at the very end, and then following that, we are going to talk about the future plans. So we launched this store on the 15th of December, and we did around £400 in revenue. Now, this is the day where we actually made a loss. We I think lost around 10% this day, but then again, that's still fine. It's still the very first day. I didn't So usually I don't really expect my products or my brands to make to turn into a profit within the very first day. I give them like a week or so to test out the product, and if it does good, rescale it, and if it doesn't perform well, I'll just completely close it down. So first day, £400, lost around 10%. This is day two, and during these days, we on day one and on day two, we spend around £400 to £500 in ad spend. On this day, we did I think a 2.2 ROAS. ROAS basically stands for return on ad spend. Now my break-even ROAS is around a 1.4, which is really good. Um, so essentially, this is the first day where we actually turned a profit. I think we did around 10 to I think we did around 22% margins this very day. Because like, so we did around 22% margins this day, which was really, really good. I kept the ad spread the same, didn't push it up or anything. So we did around £1,500 the very next day. Actually, you know what? I think I did pump the budget up after 12 p.m., around 12 p.m. time, because I could see the ROAS was really good. I think it was around a 3 ROAS. So I decided to pump the budget up from 500 to I think around 700, 650, around that point. Simply because I could see that the ROAS was really big and my break even ROAS was like quite far away. So I just decided to spend a bit more on ads that day in order to make a bit more money. Again, this day was profitable too. On this day, the ad spend was again, it was I think around the 650 mark. And this is the day where I think we did lose a bit money, I think around 2 to 5%. Again, simply because the ad spend was a bit higher. The cost of goods got a bit higher too, because we were dealing with different agents this time. Agents, by agents I mean my shipping agents, or the agents that are in China that are they're sourcing and fulfilling my product. So we did lose a bit of money over here too. And on the 19th of December is where we actually went crazy. So we kept the budget the same. I think it was around 650. Around midday, I bumped the budget up to around £850. But Facebook at the end of the day decided to spend 1,000 because they could see how profitable the campaigns were. We did around £3,100 on this day. Our margins were around 36%, I believe. Um, Somewhere along those lines. It was above 30%, so it was really, really profitable. I think we did around 13 or £1,200 in profit this very day. Um, which was again, it was amazing to see. So we kept the budget the same, around £850. Very next day, we did around 2.3K in revenue. Again, following this time onward, we've become profitable. So within the first week, we only had 2 days that were not profitable, and on the fourth day, we did around 3K. In fifth day, we did around 3K in revenue, which is insane. 2K again, we did 2K again. And then on Sunday, we did around £2,700. Again, all of these days they are profitable. We're making around 20 to 30% margins um, on this store, which again, it's amazing. Again, I'm going to jump into the specific numbers at the like a bit later during the video. Um, Let me actually show you the performance for this week too, because now I'm actually going to touch down on the issues we're facing now as a brand. Now, because we've scaled so quickly, my goal with this store is to actually turn this into a six-figure brand. And once this turns into a six-figure brand, I'm going to make this public. But essentially, if I come up here and change the date to this week, we've only generated around £550 in profit, £550 in revenue, sorry. And the only reason behind that is because Shopify has decided to put a 20% reserve on our funds. And I spoke to the support team, and they've just simply said that we have seen an enormous amount of volume coming in, which is obviously why we want to keep that reserve for the chargebacks and refunds in case there are any. Now, I want to say that the customer service of my brand is top notch. We've not had a single refund, not had a single chargeback. Every email is replied to in, I would say, around 2 to 3 hours, some even within the very next minute. That's how good my team is. Um, but yeah, I believe this is the name of the game. Now, in order to tackle this 20% reserve, we can basically do just two things. Firstly, we can either go and find a different processing cash online payments processing company. We did take a look at Airwallex, but the problem with that is once we implement it within the Shopify system, the currency doesn't automatically change to the location of our customer. What I'm trying to say is, let's say, because like our store is in pounds, that's where our store is based, and because we're based in the UK, when somebody from the US is trying to access the store, they can still see the prices in pounds, which again drops our conversion rates a lot. So that's the problem with Airwallex, which is again why we decided to go from Airwallex back to Shopify payments and just deal with the 20% reserve. They have placed this for 120 days, so till April time. And in order to tackle this, we've just decided to scale down the store for the time being. Because if we scale down, our margins increase, like they are a bit higher compared to if we obviously spend around 1 to 2k pounds on ads every day. So we've decided to spend only around £500 every day on ads, make around 25 to 30% margins. That's again the goal. That's again the estimates we have. And with that in place, we can then obviously keep a bit of profit and avoid any cash flow issues which we are facing as of this time. Um, but yeah, this is again the future plan for the time being. We want to scale this to a six-figure store, but then again, we need to deal with some cash flow issues for the timing. Like I've said, 20% hold by Shopify. And yeah, we are going to obviously continue with £500 every day of ad spend. So we're looking to making around anything between 500 or £400 in profit, but then 20% is being held by Shopify. So we are going to take out around 100 to £200 every day. Initially, once we have enough, we can obviously scale a lot more, even with the 20% hold in place. But for the time being, that's the plan. And I believe this is the plan for January as well. So again, yeah, that is that. Let's actually now jump into the numbers for the very first week and see what the profit loss statement actually looks like. So the total revenue was around £14,260. We spent around £6,000 in ads within the very first week. Our total cost of goods were £4,100, and our total profit was around 4k, which, in my opinion, within the very 4k profit within the very first week of launching a brand, I think that is insane. I know some people that have done a lot bigger numbers than me, but they've got more experience than I do, and they also have a lot more funds to play around with. Because I'm still starting out, we have some sort of cash flow issues, which again, we have devised a plan to tackle with it. It's just going to take me a bit more longer to take this to six figures because I thought that we are going to do this. I'm easily going to take the store to six figures within 2-3 months. But again, that's the name of the game. You can take a bit longer. That's the problem. Um, let's actually calculate the total margins right now and see how much they are. So they are around 28% margins again, pound sign because of how it's filtered. But yeah, 28% margins within the very first week. I think it's amazing. Again, 20% is being held by Shopify right now. Um, uh, so that is again, that's something that we can tackle with moving forward. But yeah, I'll try and drop as many updates as I can. Again, I wouldn't just make a video and upload it if I've got nothing to talk about. But that's it for the time being. An amazing first week. Let's actually scale this to six figures within the very next year. I'm also planning to launch a different brand or a different store um after New Year's time. So that's going to be really exciting too. Gonna post some videos about that too. And if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any tips, again, if you guys know how to get that money unreserved, uh, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I'll see you guys within the next video.